Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Hey, Will.
Hey, bud.
Cassie Spazzali.
Oh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do.
Still waiting on that Rep TV cast. We'll get it eventually. Jordan Kitchen.
Jordan, 20-footer, head of the cane, good!
And Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Michael Papierski in 15 minutes from right now. Andrew Lopez next hour. We'll talk some recruiting, the opening with Brian Smith from the Locked On Podcast Network. Ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Well, the Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss, Trinidad Chambliss, Vanity Fair, saga, etc. is just the content gift that keeps on giving. You all recall, of course, in May, Lane Kiffin did an interview with Vanity Fair. He made some comments that went viral about what it was like recruiting minorities, particularly black student athletes at Ole Miss. And it created a lot of conversation. A lot of people had opinions, and then it died down and seemingly had gone away until this weekend when Ole Miss quarterback Trinidad Chambliss was one of the counselors at the Manning Passing Academy. And if you're not familiar with Manning Passing Academy, it's a several-part event where the college quarterbacks who are invited are the counselors for the younger players, and then they also have their own competitions and on-field drills. And there's also media availability where all the college quarterbacks have a question and answer session as well. So Trinidad Chambliss, when he's meeting with reporters, was asked by, I don't know actually who asked the question, but John Blau, who is new to the LSU beat, he's now the LSU beat writer for The Advocate and NOLA.com, came here actually from Clemson. Incidentally, we talked to John last year when LSU played Clemson. And so this audio is courtesy of a video that John grabbed and put on his Twitter. You can go find it on his Twitter account. And this is Chambliss responding to Lane Kiffin's comments.
I mean, he said what he said. Me personally, I don't agree with it. When I came down on my visit, he showed me nothing but love. The people in Mississippi and Oxford showed me nothing but love. And one thing that I can really take away from my visit, and the reason why I did commit to Ole Miss, is I asked my family what they genuinely thought about the visit, what they thought about the people, if they trusted what they were actually saying, if they were going to be true to their word, and they said, yeah. They said, I feel like this is the right place. And my mom's super religious too, and she just had a good feeling. We prayed on it, and that was the main thing. And like I said, I don't think that, what he said was truthful, honestly. I thought that, Oxford community is nothing but love, and they care about their people no matter what they look like, brown, black, purple, yellow, you know what I mean? So I felt like, Oxford's home in this great place.
Okay. And I apologize for the audio quality. There was a little bit of an echo on it, I think you could hear, but that's the audio quality that we had. But I think you got the gist of what Trinidad said. But there's a couple of things I want to point out. And the only you might be sitting there today saying, Matt, why are you talking about this? Well, Chambliss talked about it, so it's newsworthy when someone of that stature makes a comment about it, and it's relative to the LSU football coach. So naturally, we're going to talk about it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I do want to point this out. And one of the reasons that I want to talk about it is because I am not a big fan of revisionist history. I said this, actually, another instance, we're talking about Trinidad Chambliss. But, over time, the way narratives can form and develop, stories can change. You catch the fish that's this big, but over the years, the fish becomes this big as the story unfolds, embellishes, whatever. And the way people can tell a story, it can reclassify the truth to a degree. Here's the point. Trinidad Chambliss said, me personally, I don't agree. Talking about Lane Kiffin's comments. He said, quote, I don't think what Kiffin said was truthful. Okay, well, let's remember what Lane Kiffin said. Lane Kiffin did not say people in Oxford are racist. Lane Kiffin did not say I experienced racism in Oxford. Lane Kiffin did not say there's a bias against black people and black athletes in Oxford. He did not say any of those things. What Lane Kiffin said was, and I quote, after saying Ole Miss recruits would tell him, quote, hey, coach, we really like you, but my grandparents aren't letting me move to Oxford, Mississippi. That doesn't come up when you say Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Lane Kiffin didn't say Oxford's racist. Lane Kiffin said he was relaying conversations that he had with some, not all, recruits. And by the way, since that, there have been people who have said, yeah, my parents or family or whatever felt the same way. Like, yes, like he's relaying conversations that he had with recruits. Now, we could absolutely have the conversation if Lane should have said that. Because what if it were 2 players over 6 years? Well, that's not a representative sample. And for the record, I want to be very clear. I know there's the LSU Ole Miss feud thing. I think Oxford, Mississippi is a lovely place. It is a beautiful town. It is clean. It is safe. The people are wonderful, wonderful people. It's a great, small southern town. It's a great place to raise a family if you have small kids. Like, there's so many, like, LSU, Ole Miss, whatever, notwithstanding. I'm just talking about Oxford. It's a beautiful place. So I think all of those things are real about Oxford. It's a beautiful place. Every southern town has its history with race. None is exempt. So we could have the conversation if Lane should have said that. But let's not get twisted what he actually said. And I think that's the important part. And this isn't the first time it's happened with Trinidad. Like, do you remember Trinidad Chambliss gave an interview not long ago where he talked about how as soon as he knew Pete Golding was going to be the head coach at Ole Miss, he was done. Wasn't considering anything else. Well, Pete Golding got promoted the same day Lane Kiffin left. So immediately they knew Pete Golding was going to be the coach. Well, remember this was the Thursday before Ole Miss played Tulane. The Thursday, almost 3 weeks later, 3 weeks after Lane Kiffin left, the Thursday before the playoff game against Tulane, Trinidad Chambliss was asked if he was going to go in the portal and stay.
Trinidad, if you do get that waiver, would you anticipate, if it's college, being at Ole Miss, or would you have to consider everything because that's part of it? It's all year to year. So, what would be your considerations in that way?
Yeah, no, definitely. You hit it right on the nail. I would have to consider like what the best situation is for me, what I feel most comfortable with, who I trust the most, and just get a feel for every possibility really. So there's a lot that goes into that.
That was 3 days, 2 days, or 3 days. 3 days before Ole Miss was getting ready to play a college football playoff game against Tulane. Chambliss was undecided. And now he's saying, oh, as soon as I knew it was Golding, I was staying. No, you weren't. Like, I got you on the record saying that. And I'm not trying to peg Trinidad Chambliss against the wall. He seems like a great, genuine person. Seriously, like Trinidad Chambliss is someone that, if you're a sports fan, rivalries notwithstanding, you could cheer for. The whole thing. Small guy, Division II, wins a national championship, gets to Ole Miss, there's an injury, gets his opportunity, boom, he's awesome. Like, it's one of the reasons we love sports. And I think he is a genuinely good young person. I believe that, sincerely. What I can't get on board with is, like, reshaping the facts of stories and how they actually play out. So that's why I'm willing to talk about these and play these sound bites, because we have a record. Like, I'm held accountable for everything I say or tweet or do because I'm on air every day. And so too should all the people who have an audience and have a voice. Now, all of that aside, there's 2 other things that Trinidad said. And one, this is number 2, Jordan, was, and by the way, this is courtesy of our friend Chessa Abuche over at WVLA, Go Nation. And this was back at Manning Passing Academy, that he has a lot of respect for Charlie Weiss and Lane Kiffin.
No, yeah, super grateful for, Coach Weiss and the staff that was at Ole Miss and I was at LSU. Kiff, they gave me an opportunity, they gave me a shot. But yeah, I'm just super excited to, kind of go up against them. I think it's going to be like a chess match throughout that whole game. They obviously, run our offense that we run at Ole Miss. And they got a great DC over there as well. So I'm just super pumped up and excited to play them and, see them again. I'm going to give Coach Weiss a big hug when I see him.
I think there is one point of contention, Trinidad. They, meaning LSU, they do not run your offense. You run their offense. This is Kiffin and Weiss's offense. And for me, that is the single biggest question about Ole Miss this year. Can you take Lane Kiffin, Charlie Weiss, Kevin Smith, Joe Cox, all that whole offensive staff, remove them? Like, think if you have an army. You have all the soldiers there, but if you remove the generals and the lieutenants, you remove the leadership of that army, is the army the same? Like, you got to get marching orders. You have to have strategists. Like, you have to have the people pointing the army in the right direction. Same thing here. I keep giving you the example of when LSU hired Jake Peets to run the quote-unquote Joe Brady offense. Well, 2021 was a disaster. So, remains to be seen. But Chambliss did also talk about the respect that he has for Lane Kiffin as a coach.
He's, really well with, how he knows his X's and O's. Kiffin's been, in the coaching game for a while. He sees things that other coaches really can't see, which I give him props to because, he'll talk to me after a play in practice and I'll be like, dang, I know you see that. Or, okay, that's a really good concept. He'll draw it on the board.
September 19th could be an awful lot of fun, man, in Oxford, Mississippi. Hopefully everybody allows cooler heads to prevail. But for those 3.5 hours on a Saturday, should be a great matchup. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. We're brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with a great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. The official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU. The official beer of the New Orleans Saints. Official beer of summer. Y'all, if you're heading to the beach, maybe you're just hanging out by the pool, enjoying a beautiful summer day here in Louisiana, drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. And make sure you're looking for the limited edition Folds of Honor Bud Light cases. Because every time you buy one of these Stars and Stripe Bud Light cases, portion of the proceeds are going to Folds of Honor, which funds scholarships for the children of our brave fallen men and women. So, drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light and raise a cold Bud this 4th of July and this summer as we celebrate 250 years of the U.S. of A. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. All right, let's knock out a quick break. We come back. Former LSU catcher Michael Papierski is going to be here with us. Excited to chat with Pap, chop it up a little bit here on this Tiger baseball team as they navigate their way through the offseason. We'll do it next on AFR.
AFR.
DuplessisPools.com, DuplessisPools.com, DuplessisPools.com. Go to DuplessisPools.com and start building your dream pool today. DuplessisPools.com. Hat tip to my friend Derek Duplessis and the great staff as for the second consecutive year, Duplessis Pools was named a top 50 pool builder in America by Pool & Spa magazine. As a matter of fact, Duplessis Pools was the only pool builder in the state of Louisiana to receive that honor. DuplessisPools.com is the website, DuplessisPools.com. Yesterday was awesome. Me, Erica, Drew spent part of our Sunday cooling off in the pool. Might have had a cold Bud Light or two. It's a great way to spend those summer days. Great way to have parties, showpiece. That dream can be your reality as well. But start at DuplessisPools.com. You can design your pool online. You can finance it online. Pay for it right now. It's DuplessisPools.com. Check them out online. It's DuplessisPools.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
I got text from Erica, my wife, while we were doing the segment on Chambliss and Kiffin. She said, I think I love Trinidad with a bunch of exclamation points and the Trinidad flag. And then said, I want to be his friend.
Oh, wow.
And I said, why? This is my wife, who, as I've told you before, knows nothing about sports. Although she disputes that, but she knows nothing about sports. Because he sounds super nice and happy and he likes to smile.
Valid reason to like somebody, though.
It is. No, it's great. It's a great reason to like somebody. But when you're talking about the quarterback at Ole Miss that beat you last year, and now you got to play there, and it's really contentious and all that stuff, like when you verbalize that without any context, that's whenever people look at you kind of cross-eyed. Like that's how my wife ends up walking through the airport wearing an orange and white checkerboard shirt or the Tennessee shirt on the way to the No Doubt and doesn't understand why that's something that people be like, are you a Tennessee fan? Blissfully unaware. But I say, hey, you know nothing about sports. She's like, I do know stuff about sports. She'd be like, Travis Kelce, Chiefs, bam.
Yep. Madison Square Garden, remember that.
Oh, man. It's coming up. coming up next week. Former LSU Tiger Michael Papierski, good enough to join us here. Chop it up, talk a little baseball for a bit. Pap, what up, man?
What's up? What's up? How y'all doing?
Awesome. Are you a Trinidad Chambliss fan?
No.
Are you a fan of people that like to smile?
Yes.
Okay, maybe you are a Trinidad Chambliss fan.
What is happening? I don't know what's happening.
Oh, did you not hear us?
Hold on. I have a 1.5-year-old at home, so we have not watched much sport lately.
I love it. Did you hear the segment coming in when you were on hold?
A little bit.
Yeah, no worries, man. So my wife, Erica, she always contends that she knows sports. I say she doesn't. But like we were just talking about Chambliss, and he made some comments to the Manning Passing Academy this past weekend about Kiffin, who were playing him and reacting to him. And she just texted me, was like, I think I love Trinidad Chambliss. I'm like, why? She's like, because he seems like a happy, nice guy, and he smiles a lot. Like, yep, that is a good reason to like someone. Not a good reason to cheer for a football team or player, but yes, but for just as a human, yes, I would agree with you.
That's right. When you give an interview, you should smile.
Yeah, of course you do. Did you learn that? Did Tommy Karam teach you that?
He did.
What was the basis of that?
Exactly that reason right there. Your wife likes him now.
Success.
It worked.
It did. Worked. I know. It does work. Hey, there wasn't a lot of reason to smile as an LSU baseball fan this year. 9-21. I really wanted to get your perspective on a few things, notably the battery and how that went this year and how they may improve. So let's start, Pap. I'd love your impression on what you saw from Aaron Beatty and Cerna behind the plate, the good and the bad.
So I did do a little research before I got on here. I didn't watch too many games, but I did watch a handful. And, I'll get a text here from a few people. But Aaron Beatty hit how many homers? 18?
Was it 17 or 18? Yeah, it was something like that. It's a big number.
And Cerna hit what, 9, 10?
Yeah, he didn't really crack the starting lineup until maybe second week of SEC play.
He had what, 150?
Yeah.
At bats?
Yeah, let's call it that. That's good.
I know they both had OPSs over 900, which is unbelievable as a catcher. Correct me if I'm wrong. How many SEC catchers had? Well, I don't know if y'all know, but over 900.
No, I think. See, here's the thing, Pat. We know those dudes were awesome offensively. The challenge became defensively this year. The perception was they both really struggled. For you, and you were you were the inverse. Like you were always a great defensive catcher, and the bat came along during your career.
Hey, hit a little bit.
Yeah,
come on,
dude. No, but look, by the end of your career, you homered from both sides of the plate in a College World Series game. But at the beginning
only person in history in that place.
There you go. But it's fair to say the beginning of your career, like you were in there for defense, and the bat came along. These guys, it's the inverse. So if I asked you defensively for these guys that did struggle behind the plate, what's a realistic expectation for how much better they can get defensively?
Oh, it's going to take work, right? You got to put work in. I put in the beginning of my career, like you said, I put all my work into my defense because everyone said if you're a defensive catcher, you'll get to the big leagues, right? You're a defensive catcher, you get to the big leagues. But nowadays, it's like if you hit, you get to the big leagues. They'll figure it out later. But, a little work this summer and this fall and spring, you never know what will happen when they come back.
The other thing that's interesting, too, Pap, is you're a big catcher. What are you, 6'4"? They got you listed 6'4", 225, but I don't know what you actually played at, but it's probably around there, right?
Yeah, about 6'4", 215.
Yeah. So Cerna is comparable. Is it easier, harder when you're that size to be an effective defensive catcher?
You have to be flexible. That's key, right? If you're not flexible, it's going to be hard to get into those positions that other smaller catchers can get into.
Pat, what impact do you like? Kind of nerd out on me a little bit here on the impact an elite defensive catcher can have on a pitching staff?
I'm trying to think of a easy example.
No, I don't want you to think of an easy example. I want you to.
I know.
I want you to nerd out on it.
Okay, so you look at Yachty. I don't know how many championships they won, but like you had him, Posey, Selvy's still playing. Like you see all these catchers who are the elite of elite defenders and what they do. JT Realmuto, look at what he does. How he controls the pitching staff. They respect him. They know that if they throw a ball in the dirt, the ball's going to be blocked, right? And you can get into these detailed studies of like game planning. We're game planning for every pitch that is thrown that game. There's a plan and there's something behind that pitch. Every single pitch, there's a plan for the next pitch. Does that make sense?
Yeah. If so, did you know or chart like how many strikes you feel you stole by your ability to frame pitches as a receiver?
Yes, I didn't have to do it. There's a computer that does it. So,
give me an average. How many in a game?
Ooh,
single digits? 5, 7, 15?
A good day, I'm going to say 5.
Okay.
Amazing day, 7.
Okay. But it goes to show you just.
But it's even harder now, right, with ABS where they're challenging and they're tapping their helmets.
Yeah.
And then you have the best of the best umpires. So, but it's not that. It's getting those ones that are on the line, that are borderline, make sure those are strikes. And catching the ones that are strikes and keeping them strikes.
Yeah. The ability, I've often heard a phrase, Pat, the ability to be quiet behind the plate, right? To be still.
Exactly.
So, and Michael Papierski is our guest, former Tiger catcher. LSU was so odd, Pat, this year because LSU, despite having a ton of talented arms, finished last in the SEC in staff ERA. And I know you said you didn't watch, every game, but I'm curious how much a defensive deficiency at catcher impacts how a game is called and how pitchers attack hitters.
Yeah, I mean, big time, right? Like, if that catcher can't catch the ball, or he can't block the ball, or he can't throw the ball, whatever it is, that other team is going to exploit that every single time, right? Why wouldn't you? So if we have to game plan against that, that's going to hurt my chances for throwing my pitcher's best pitch, right? Like Alex Lane, what did he throw every time 2 strikes? Like he's throwing the third ball at 88.
A 57-foot breaking ball, no doubt.
Exactly. But they swing. So you need to figure out how to block that baseball, right, as a catcher. It's not a bad pitch. It's not a bad pitch if they swing. Yeah. I hate to say it.
No, man, I use that example all the time about you, and it's like you were a brick wall back there, and Lane could spike that break because he also showed the ability to throw it for a strike. So if they see the spin, they're swinging, even though it's coming in 57 feet. But you were there to block it up every time. And so, how different is Lang's 2017 if he doesn't have the confidence to spike that breaking ball, right? I got a couple more for you, Pat. I kind of want to switch gears to the draft decision because in this new era, obviously everything's changed with NIL and now the new 5 to play 5 thing. But do you think how much do you think NIL affects or would affect people's draft decisions in their draft eligible year?
From high school or from college?
I'm talking about from college. Well, I guess either, right? But the ability to make money in school as opposed to the goal of getting to the big leagues and starting your pro career.
Right. Braxton Betty, is that how you say it?
Yeah, well, let's go Beatty or Betty. I really don't know, but
However,
the lefty. Yeah, the lefty from Vegas.
He
or wherever he's from.
just withdrew his name, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what he's going to get here, but that I would definitely say that plays a factor in him signing or not signing.
Yeah. You after a season like this where the Tigers missed the postseason altogether, how much do you think, like, how confident are you in their ability to bounce back, like to get back into postseason, back into contention in a year?
They did it in, 24? They had an okay year?
Yeah. Didn't miss postseason altogether, though, man.
Well, it's baseball. It happens.
I know.
Come on.
I know.
Baseball's the hardest game. You never, what if four balls landed, four balls landed a different way and the game's flipped?
Yeah.
You never know what can happen. Baseball's crazy. I believe they will be back. Jay Johnson is an unbelievable coach. I was, fortunate enough to still be playing when he was there, and he greeted us and greets everybody back like we're family. I'll tell you what, I was also fortunate enough to work with Yeski a little bit, and he's one of the best pitching coaches I've ever been around as well. I mean, everybody up and down that coaching staff is going to give you 100% every single day. And that's all you can ask for.
Man, we're excited for hopefully baseball not to end at Memorial Day next year.
That's right.
It's way more fun when they're playing ball in June. Michael Papierski is our guest. Hey, man, I know you're working with Lamar now. Tell people what's going on.
I am. So last time I was down here, I think I announced my retirement.
Dude, is that real? Like, you announced your retirement here?
I mean, basically.
Let's go, bro. Let's go. Anytime you got breaking news, you bring it here.
Not on purpose, but yeah, I did. So I'm working for Lamar, selling billboards. So if you need a billboard, you can shoot me a call or a text. But
my guy.
Yeah. That's it. I got a 1.5-year-old. We're living in Denham.
Love it, dude.
So we're kicking it.
You ever you miss being home in Illinois?
I do. We're actually going home in September to visit my parents.
Awesome.
Just booked that trip, so that'll be fun.
Well, dude,
maybe get out of this heat.
We're right. We're it's always good to chat with you, man. It's good when we get to cross paths as well. You always got a platform and a home here, man. We appreciate you. Be well, all right?
Well, I appreciate it. Y'all have a good day.
All right, man. It's Pat, Michael Papierski, joining us here for a couple of minutes on AFR. We're brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake, where, success starts long before Saturday nights in Tiger Stadium, in the offseason and recovery, in the work that happens between games and seasons. That's why Lane Kiffin, Sam Levitt, Whit Weeks, Trades Green, Jordan Seaton, they trust FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake, with their health care. And that trust is backed by a health system that's growing, thriving, and serving communities across Louisiana and Mississippi. With more than 20,000 team members and a $5 billion network of care, FMOL Health has earned national recognition for quality with 2 exceptional workplace awards from Gallup and continues to invest in the people and communities it serves. As LSU's championship health partner, the Lake helps care for student-athletes year-round, and the same expertise trusted by LSU is available to you and your family every day. FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake, and LSU. Together, we roar. Learn more at fmolhealth.org/LSU. All right, it's after further review. We are glad to have you hanging out with us here. Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. All right, quick break. We'll go around the SEC. Andrew Lopez next hour. By the way, baseball got some awesome news today as one of their high school signees, another high school signee is withdrawn from the draft. We'll get to that coming up here in about 30 minutes from right now. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time, where you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out. You'll always have an exceptional customer service experience. Remember, they got more than double the amount of 5-star Google reviews of the next closest competitor because of technicians like Cody. Holly sent this 5-star Google review. Cody is always a pleasure to work with. He's personable, honest, and professional. Definitely recommend Cody. Another 5-star Google review for River City's 1 Hour Air. And whether it's Cody or any of the technicians that come to your house, whenever there's a technician on the way, you're going to get a call, a text, and an email alerting you that technician's on the way with name, photo, and reviews of that technician so you're comfortable with who's coming into your house. They're the best. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Give them a buzz, 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. Remember, our friends at River Parish Contractors are hiring. So if you're looking for work, you need to get in touch with Big Jake over at River Parish Contractors. Even if you're not looking for work, maybe you should be. Because what if River Parish Contractors could give you a better opportunity, better pay, better benefits? That's what we're talking about with River Parish Contractors. They've been around for 25 years. And remember, all of the work, while their fab shop is in reserve, all of their work is from Baton Rouge to Chalmette. What that means for you is you are home every night. I've heard horror stories. And God, some people doing shift work, getting off, and being stuck in traffic for 3 hours. Not when you're at River Parish Contractors, because you got work on both sides of the river. Remember, great pay, paid time off, health insurance, great retirement plan, as much overtime as you want, day and night shifts. It's River Parish Contractors. Call Big Jake, rpcontractors.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and we do shutters too.
I put on social media before we came on air today a little bit of a line in the water, and this only came up because, and I'm going to talk about this more in the next segment, but I'm throwing it out here for the radio audience who might not have seen this on social. I left intentionally vague this question on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and different places. I just asked very plainly, give me your thoughts on the LSU Arena project. And this only came up because, candidly, I was driving home from the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame induction, which was Saturday. I was driving home Sunday morning from Natchitoches. I was listening to a podcast, and this topic came up, and it struck me that this conversation has sort of been muted. It's kind of been suppressed and gone by the wayside. Nobody's talking about it anymore. And I don't want that to happen. So, but I don't use this show to talk about what I want. I use this show to talk about what you want to hear about. So, look, if I did a show I want, I would talk about cold plunges and peptides and health stuff and MMA. And I mean, look, I love the Saints and LSU and also I love the stuff I get to talk about, but I talk about a lot more, right? But I talk about the things you, by evidence of all the numbers and metrics and everything we do, want to hear about. And I'm curious where people stand on this. So I left it intentionally vague. I'm just curious where people stand and what the reaction is going to be. So I want to get into some of that in about 15 minutes from right now. Actually, less than 15 minutes. I got to go quickly. But if you want to, go find my Twitter, my Facebook, whatever. Respond there or text me, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. We do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Ole Miss Rebels.
Ole Miss added blue chip wide receiver for 2027. Alvin Mosley committed. He's out of Texas. He is a 6'2", 190-pounder. He's the number 31 player in the state of Texas.
The Texas Longhorns.
Texas added a top in-state cornerback for 2027. It's Montre Jackson. He's out of Garland, Texas. The number 27 cornerback in America, had 39 scholarship offers, including a lot of SEC schools, but he's headed to Austin.
The Florida Gators.
Armani Strong, he's a wide receiver out of Florida, has committed to the Gators. 4-star, number 34 wideout in the country, picked Florida over Miami, Notre Dame, Michigan, USC, and others.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Finally, a respectable ad for Kalen DeBose. A 4-star receiver named Osani Gales committed to Alabama. He's the number 46 overall prospect, the 8th best receiver in the country. He's out of IMG Academy in Braylonton, originally from the state of California.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Cats got a 4-star commit from wide receiver Tyler Fryman, decommitted from Louisville, and now is flipped to Kentucky. 6'1", 185. He's the number 30 wide receiver in the country.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Jackson Ross is the newest Gamecock pledge. He'll play for Shane Beamer's program, he announced on Sunday. 6'3", 215-pounder. But he's just a 3-star. He's the 13th best player in Carolina, the number 51 linebacker in America.
Texas A&M!
Eric McFarland is committed to A&M out of IMG Academy, continuing this exceptional recruiting class for Mike Elko's bunch. He chose Texas A&M over Florida and Georgia.
The Oklahoma Sooners.
And OU lured a potential star away from his home state, getting 4-star phenom Bodie Sparrow to commit. He's out of Utah, 6'2", 195-pounder. He's versatile, but picked Oklahoma over BYU and Utah. He's the number 1 prospect in the state of Utah, the number 76 player in the country. All right, there you have it. That is around the SEC. I love telling you about Supper Club, but Supper Club's closed on Mondays. Sundays, Mondays. So it's actually a great opportunity on Mondays for me to remind you about the newest concept from Brandon Landry and our friends over at Supper Clubs. That is Amigo Al's. We are talking about high-quality Mexican dining and an awesome story to tell, a great vibe. They're on Highway 30 in St. Gabriel. So if you're on Nicholson leaving LSU and you're going south, right, you're going to pass Bluebonnet where LaBerge is, and then you're going to see Lexington and U Club. Well, about a quarter mile, maybe not even a quarter mile, past U Club on your left. That's where you'll see Amigo Al's. You can't miss it because the big yellow truck is out front. It's awesome. But what you're going to find with Amigo Al's is you're going to find high-quality ingredients. You're going to eat great, but you're not going to leave feeling like you just ate a pound of cheese, which sometimes happens when you eat Mexican. High-end ingredients. It's delicious. The margaritas are awesome as well. Truthfully, like when I went, I had the skinny margarita, and it's awesome. Talking about high-end tequila, real fruit juice as well, so it's not just sugar water dumped into their margaritas. Look, I get it. San Gabriel isn't super convenient for everybody in Baton Rouge, so what I would tell you is just put it on your list. If you got a day, a Sunday afternoon after church, you're looking to go have a meal with the family, just one day pop over and check out Amigo Al's. Or, tons of people that work, plant workers up and down the river, pop into Amigo Al's for lunch. Actually, when I went a couple weeks ago for lunch, like the whole thing was all just dudes at the plant taking their lunch, and they can get you in and out. Ticket time, they'll turn in like 12 to 15 minutes. So they can get you in and out in less than an hour. So you got 45 minutes for lunch, boom, easy at Amigo Al's. Check them out right there on Highway 30 in St. Gabriel. It's Amigo Al's. All right, it's after further review. Thanks for hanging out with us here. If you missed this, I'm going to tell you. You want to know what? Further validation for Texas Tech, not Texas Tech, the Big 12, the NFL, the CFL, everyone distancing themselves from Brendan Sorsby. The NBA has a new gambling scandal. I don't know if you saw this, but Malik Beasley, who was a former first-round pick, been in the NBA for 10 years. Malik Beasley has now been indicted on federal gambling charges, apparently involving point shaving, prop bets. He was a first-round pick of the Nuggets in 2016, played for the Pistons 2 seasons ago, the 24-25 season. This past year played in Puerto Rico. But you're now talking about both MLB and NBA have had scandals involving point shaving, manipulation of performances for betting purposes. The NFL's yet to have such a controversy. Like, there's a couple of ways to look at this. One is, look, Malik Beasley, over his NBA career, made $59.9 million, nearly $60 million in career earnings. Now, yes, there's taxes and union dues and agents' fees, and the estimate of that $60 million is that he probably pocketed, after all that, about $25 million, which taxes are an atrocity, but whatever. Another story, another day, another platform. So you could look and say, Malik, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? That's one. But the other side is, this is why I'm preaching to the choir, because I think everyone understands why Brendan Sorsby should not have been playing. This is why. Like, you cannot call into question the integrity of the result. So any league, anywhere, ever is going to distance itself from a gambling scandal. Always. So Brendan Sorsby's got a long way to go to work himself back in. Malik Beasley, though, is facing federal charges here. he's been indicted. All right. It's after further review. Brought to you by Relief Windows. Let me knock out a quick break. Come back, wrap up hour number 1. I want to give you some thoughts on that arena project. We'll get to it next on AFR.
After further review.
Rev Fiber. You want to get things moving? Nothing gets things moving like fiber. Right? Eh? Hey, trust you can have that punchline if you want it. The tagline if you want it. RevFiber.com. RevFiber.com. R-E-V. RevFiber.com. You want to move at lightning fast speeds? Fiber will do it. Eh? In this case, we're talking about your high-speed internet, of course. R-E-V, RevFiber.com, RevFiber.com. Rev, it's easy. 90 years in business locally, 90, nearly a century in business locally. Local call center. So whenever you call, you're not getting routed overseas. People here in our local market are picking up the phone. All fiber network, lightning fast internet speeds, better prices, local service. What more would you want? R-E-V, RevFiber.com, RevFiber.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
I was driving home from Natchitoches on Sunday after the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame induction, and I flipped on a podcast with, it's the Alligator Shoes podcast. I've mentioned this to you several times. My friend Michael Hackett hosts it, and he interviews people who are sort of committed to Baton Rouge. And I understand we're on in Lafayette and Lake Charles and Alec, and people listen and watch all over the state, the country. I mean, there's LSU and Saints fans everywhere. So this might feel like a Baton Rouge topic, but this is an LSU Louisiana topic. And it was an interview he did with Julio Malera. And if you're not familiar, Julio was born in New Orleans. He lives in Baton Rouge. He's an awesome dude. He is the owner of 225 Magazine, In Register, and the Baton Rouge Business Report. When you talk about community leaders and influence in business community, Julio is one of those guys that is right there at the forefront of all of it. And they got to talking about the arena project, and it reminded me, and by the way, they recorded this months ago. I just happened to find it. I was catching up on some shows. And they were talking about the arena project, and I thought to myself, man, we have not talked about the arena in a minute. And I remember a year ago, E.J. Kuiper from FMOL and Ryan Cross sat in this studio because the lake has already agreed to be the naming rights sponsor of the arena if and when it gets built. And we talked about what it would mean, and here we are, a year later? And the thing is still stuck in the mud. Now, I am not, I say this to y'all all the time, man, I'm not a political person, and this is not a bait and switch. One thing that annoys me to no end is when, look, everybody's entitled to your opinion and to free speech and all that stuff, but I'm a believer in, stay in your lane, but this is a sports show. You come here to hear me talk about sports, nothing else. So I'm not trying to expand outside of that. This is an arena that I think is critical for not only LSU sports, but also community and commerce and everything in our state, our city, and all that sort of stuff. I mean, I can't help but think of what that would mean for riverfront development. Think about, I told you I was in Natchitoches. If you've never been to Natchitoches, Louisiana, it's incredible. The Cane River runs right through their downtown area, their Main Street area, and it's nothing but beautiful shops and restaurants and bars and antiques and businesses and all right there along the river. It doesn't matter if you're Natchitoches, Louisiana, if you're Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, if you're Cincinnati, Ohio. If you have a river, you develop your riverfront. This city has got to be the only city in the world that has this amazing God-given creation. The mighty Mississippi runs right through. We are built on the banks of this river, and all we have is an old-ass warship sitting right there. Oh, and some old condos. I cannot for the life of me fathom why anybody would oppose this project for what is coming. a beautiful arena that will help amplify and accentuate everything around LSU athletics. But then also the second phase of the development, which is retail and a world-class sports performance center. I mean, it is residential, restaurants, all of it. And we're sitting here just with our thumbs up our behinds, not moving because we're stuck in the mud because of what? And unfortunately, all of the comments as I posted on Twitter and Facebook about this just reiterate the same skepticism because of the same old crap in Louisiana that hesitates, that hinders progress. We need to get out of our way, y'all. We got to get out of our way and get this thing done, not only for Baton Rouge and our state and our economy and commerce and all that stuff, but also for LSU athletics. Be an incredible boon to LSU athletics and the university as a whole in this time where you need those things. There's a lot of people standing in the way of this, and we're going to start naming names soon because this thing needs to get done. As someone who lives here, I'm sick and freaking tired of dopes standing in the way of progress for their own petty BS reasons. And that's going to stop soon, at least as far as we can control it. AFR.
After further review.
We're brought to you by Arco Power Systems, ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com, arco.com. If you're a business owner and you have a brick and mortar, you have a commercial facility, commercial industrial facility, storm comes, power goes out, what happens? What was it like after Ida at your business? What was it like after Gustav at your business? What was it like after Katrina? Just think of what it was like when the storm came, power went out. What happened to your business or your industrial facility? That's why you need Arco Power Systems. This is critical backup energy solutions for the industrial sector. Arco.com, arco.com, ARCCO, arco.com. Home base is right here in Baton Rouge, but they service a giant footprint. North to Little Rock, east to Mobile, west to San Antonio, draw a giant circle. If you're in that footprint, they service you. Check them out online. It's Arco Power Systems, ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com, arco.com.